Hear ye, this is Lord Potato, and this is What If Naruto was a reincarnation of Jade the King? Not Jade the King, Jade the Emperor, um, or you can also call it the King, whatever. I'm probably just gonna be calling it the King most of the time. But, what's it called? This is part 3, and, also go subscribe to Anime Sensei, Iconic, What Ifs, and even Obito Uchiha. Obito What Ifs. Someone that's probably gonna upload his What If. I don't know when he's gonna do it, but all I know is he's gonna upload it. And that's why I'm gonna put a link to his channel tomorrow, because the fact that I don't have Wi-Fi. This is gonna be uploaded tomorrow when I do have Wi-Fi. Now I'm gonna try to record like 3 videos today, upload them all tomorrow, and yeah. So today's like the what's it called? Today's like the 21. Gonna upload them all on what's it called? The 22 probably. But yeah. But other than that, did I said anything else? Yeah, whatever. So let's go in. Nope, sorry. Okay. So after Naruto managing to get the compound of the Namikaze and also slash Uzumaki from Hiruzen, he also kind of like got Hinata from her abusive father, well, mostly negligent father and all that. Basically, her father kind of neglects her, and yeah, you get the point. Abusive and neglect at the same time. But of course, Naruto, he's very scary when he wants to be. Now, of course, Naruto trained for the last week with Hinata to just get her stronger, but also get himself stronger. So yeah, Naruto is worrying about the weight, or what's it called? The gravity seal weights that he has in his arms and legs is I did mention there was like 5,000. Now there's like 15,000, cause he gets stronger, kind of every time. The reason why is because of his god genes, because he is a reincarnation of a god, mostly. Now, of course, Yuji is... why the hell did I call him Yuji? Naruto, he is now going to, the final Chunin exam, because the week is now over. The week is over. So, of course, the 1 month is over. Now, of course, Naruto, he's going to the final Chunin exam, and, of course, he wakes up the next day, because he was kind of training with Hinata yesterday. And of course he wakes up, he realizes now the final day for not the final day, but the final the day of the Chunin exams. Of course this is where Naruto, he wakes up, he gets ready and all that. And of course Hinata is already done and she's actually cooking. And of course this is where Naruto says, "You can cook?" Hinata says, "Yes." This is where Naruto says, "Oh, cool." Naruto just kind of eats with Hinata. Now, Hinata, she's kind of flustered a little bit because, she's seeing her, favorite person named Naruto Uzumaki kind of eat her food and kind of enjoy it. Or not kind of, enjoy it a lot. Now, of course, where Naruto says thanks, but I gotta get to the final Chunin exam. Wish me luck, Hinata. Hinata says, "Yeah, Naruto." Now, of course, you can get out of the compound. Naruto modified it because he kind of went through, the books. Not books, the scrolls and even books that have Funjutsu in it. And he's a fast learner, so of course, he kind of copied the Funjutsu seals. And of course, by learning all that, he modified it into, Hinata being able to kind of get in. Only Hinata. Hinata has actually a special necklace around her neck. This necklace shows to be kind of like a red gem. A red kind of ruby gem. This is where Naruto kind of gave her this kind of red gem to kind of have a seal to allow her to, the seal in the gem kind of has a activation. Every time Hinata's kind of near the doors, she's allowed to go inside. If she doesn't have that gem, then it will block her out. So it goes for the same if she wants to come in or out. So yeah. So of course she's just in the house while Naruto decides to leave. Well, not house, compound. So yeah, Naruto's right now just going to the compound, and of course he's not really running. He's mostly having a stroll, walking towards it. But yeah. Of course, when he gets to the final Chunin exam, he is there with the others. Now the other competitors. This is where, well, you see Neji, Tenten, Rock Lee, as it called, Tamari, Gaara, Kankuro, Shino, Shikamaru. I think I did mention that Ino was in there also. Ino and what's it called, Choji. I think it was, I forgot who I put Choji with. I think it was someone else. And also some, well, sound ninjas and, well, like one actually particular sound ninja with white hair and silver eyes. And the girl with blonde, what was it called? Not blonde hair. A girl with red hair and, well, dark skin is also there, but yeah. She is actually from the Cloud Village, but yeah. Now, this is where Naruto, he decides to just get there, of course, kind of standing. Now, of course, this is where the proctor named, I want to call him Emma so bad, but I know that's not his name. What's it called? His name is, Gemma is his name, and of course, this is where, well, they are all getting ready, and of course, Gemma says, first match, Naruto Uzumaki versus Neji Hyuga. Now, Neji has been training a lot to try to, well, surpass Naruto. And he is still having that whole huge-ass confidence. Because he thought he's kind of surpassed Naruto. This is where, well, Neji still kind of has that whole smirk grin. And he says, well, you might have scared me that first time. But, you see here, destiny is the thing that's going to allow me to win. And Naruto says, shut the fuck up. God, can you shut up? Naruto just saying, Jesus Christ. You're so damn annoying. More annoying than any person talking about what's called the Make Out Paradise franchise. You see here, I don't care. I really do not care, Neji Hyuga. You see here, I don't care about your whole destiny bullshit. I don't care about your fucking life. I don't give a shit about anything. The only thing I care is about breaking you like a twig for hurting Hinata. Now, Naruto still has his eyes closed. And of course, is where, well, Naruto, he kind of, what's it called, like, disappear from Neji's view and appear right in front of him, kicking him right in the chin, like, right in the, what's it called, jawline. This is where, well, Neji is sent to in the air, and, well, Neji is shocked. He didn't expect, well, Naruto to be that very fast. He even activated his Byakugan, but still could not see the speed. This is where Neji is kind of flown up in the air. And of course, this is where he does activate his Byakugan and just gets ready. Because he's kind of falling down a little bit. Now, no, Neji didn't just get kicked up a little bit up in the sky and then will kind of fall down and all that. No, he got really kicked up in the air. Naruto's that strong. He's not holding back. This is where Naruto, he appears right behind Neji. And axe kicking him down to the ground, smashing him into, well, the ground, making a crater. Now, a huge-ass crater. This is where, well, Neji managed to get back up, but he's weak as hell. This is where, well, he decides to try to fight against Naruto and Taijutsu, which it's a very terrible idea, because Naruto just uses hyper speed and what's it called, wait, what was that? So, the technique is called, well, he uses hyperspeed and triple strike. So, of course, triple strike allows him to kind of hit multiple times. Well, a couple of times if you didn't have hyperspeed. But with hyperspeed, it allows him to attack more than just 3 times. It allows him to attack, well, 40 times at Neji. Now, Neji is shocked. He cannot actually see it or anything. Even with his Byakugan, he cannot see Naruto's speed. He cannot sense Naruto's, well, what's it called, chakra, or not sense, see Naruto's chakra. Even if he has a 360 fucking view with his fucking Byakugan, he's still no match for Naruto. That's where Naruto appears underneath him and just punches him in the fucking jawline, sending his ass straight to the air, like up in the air. Now, of course, Hinata managed to get there, and of course, she just sees Neji flying up. This is where a bunch of people are saying, damn, that Hyuga's fucking flying. Like some people and all that. Also, let me mention who the Kaiges are here. So, the right Kaige is here. The, what's it called, Horuzen is here. And even, Orochimaru is here. And, but yeah. Mostly it should have been the Kaige, but it's Orochimaru, okay? So, of course, well, he is sent up in the air, and Naruto appears right in, front of him, punching him down back to the ground, just smashing him to the ground, giving no fucks. Now, Naruto, when he was in the air for a little bit, because, yeah, he sensed Orochimaru. He didn't have his eyes open, but he kind of, like, sensed Orochimaru, and he is pissed. Naruto, he is wanting to just obliterate Orochimaru and what he did to him. But right now, he's trying to keep calm. So, yeah. Of course, this is where, well, Naruto, he kind of just lands down in the ground. And of course, he's just walking away. This is where Gemma says, Neji Hyuga is unable to battle. He is knocked out. Naruto Uzumaki has won. This is where, well, the proctor just said that. Of course, this is where Naruto's walking away. A bunch of people are shocked. Multiple people betted on Neji. The only person that kind of betted on Naruto was actually Hinata. She knew that Naruto was gonna win when she kind of got there. Of course, they were still kind of betting, but yeah, because they were thinking, oh, Neji's just playing with him. Yeah. Hinata betted on Naruto, and all that money went to Hinata. Hinata was laughing. This is where, well, Kiba, he was kind of shocked that Hinata's so rich, and she actually believed in Naruto. That other people didn't really believe in Naruto to win. And yeah, that was their downfall. Because they still kind of see Naruto as a weakling. Naruto's overpowered now. He is the reincarnation of the Jade the Emperor. And I'm going to just say one thing. There's some techniques that Jade the Emperor has. They were actually called divide moves. And they are powerful as fuck. Well, I'll mention that later. Of course, we go into Naruto kind of like going upstairs. He sees Hinata and just kind of like has his arm over Hinata. And Hinata's flustered and she's saying, oh, Naruto, not in public. Naruto says, it's fine. He says, who's really going to be able to stop me? This is where Kiba says, Naruto, what did you do to my girl? This is where Naruto, he says, the fuck? This is where Kiba rushes at Naruto. And Naruto knee him right in the fucking skull. Like, he kneed him right in the side of his skull. And of course, well, Kiba's down to the count. Down for the count. Naruto's too overpowered. Naruto does not care. Naruto is not even wearing the Sage Robe, even though he can like summon it any time. But he's not wearing it right now. He knows that none of these people can go after him, even in his speed. Well, in his right now current speed. With the weights. Even without the weights, he will be an extremely fast foe. He will probably be faster than Minato if you think about it. Now, Minato isn't really using speed. It's mostly teleportation. I don't actually understand why he's called the fastest man when he only uses teleportation. Never really... Yeah, whatever. I should probably shut up. So, of course, this is where Naruto... He's just like kind of sitting next to Hinata and all that. The next match is Sasuke Uchiha versus Gaara. Now, of course, well, Sasuke is not here. And Naruto says, just continue the damn match. Let Gaara win already. This is why some people are saying, boo, why would we let that happen? We want to see the... And Naruto just says, shut the fuck up. Why don't you? Sends this terrifying amount of bloodlust to everyone. And this is where the proctor looks at, well, Horuzen. And Horuzen just goes and do some signal saying just like fill the Uchiha now, before Naruto kind of murders the civilians. That last that last talk with Naruto shows that Naruto is not playing around. Naruto doesn't give two fucks who you are. You can be the goddamn, you can be the goddamn Sage of Sixth Path and he wouldn't give two fucks. Because the Sage of Sixth Path is just demigod. And of course, yeah, because he got like, kind of told by Jade the Emperor. He's only demigod level. He doesn't give a fuck if you're the fucking, the daimyo. He can give two fucks. He doesn't give a fuck if you're the person who's gonna give him the money. He gives two fucks less. He can basically take your money instead. He can just rob your shit. He doesn't care. So of course that's what Hiruzen is thinking. He's like, just fell Sasuke. That's where Gemma says Sasuke has fell. Next match. Shikamaru versus Temari. People are booing, but this is where Naruto sends Bloodless into shutting the fuck up. That's where Naruto is terrifying as fuck if you piss him off enough. So yeah, this is where Shikamaru is saying, this is such a fucking drag. Temari just says, they will really be having to fight this black-haired kid. This is where, well, Shikamaru is going against Temari. Now, Shikamaru's he did get his chakra unlocked further by Naruto. Naruto, by healing him a little bit, he actually unlocked Shikamaru's chakra. True chakra nature. So yeah, this is where, well, or not chakra nature, mostly a chakra Genkai. So this is where Shikamaru and Temari are fighting. Now, it kind of goes in original canon, but of course, Shikamaru, instead of, well, he is using Shadow in the beginning to kind of trick out his foe and all that. Temari still sees that was called. Shikamaru can still just use Shadow and he's waiting for the time and all that. And since there's not really a hole for that whole thing like original canon happened, because of Naruto basically just smashed Neji up and down with just his brute fucking power instead of using any more techniques. The only techniques he's shown was hyper speed and triple strike, but no, other than that, it wasn't much. Of course, this is where, well, Shikamaru, he uses Shadow Paralysis Jutsu, but of course, this is where Temari managed to dodge him and says, even if you stay in there, no way you're gonna be able to defeat me. This is where Shikamaru says, I wasn't planning to defeat you, I was just planning you to mobilize you. This is where she hears a voice from behind, that's why she turns around real fast, but this is where a blade almost hit her. Now this blade is actually just a black blade, and of course she managed to block it with her fan. Now of course she jumps back away from the person who actually attacked her. She right now just kind of realized who this was, and this is Shikamaru. But this Shikamaru has a sword, and she didn't see Shikamaru with a sword. This is where, well, everyone is kind of confused. This is where Shikamaru says, gotcha. And the real Shikamaru that was behind the tree, because this Shikamaru that's in front of her was only a darkness clone, and it does melt into darkness, even the sword goes into darkness. Shikamaru says, I got you. Don't you think that was easier than I thought? He turns around, so he makes Temari kind of turn around. And of course Temari is shocked that she fell for that. She doesn't understand what that was. This is where Shikamaru raises up his hand and says, I give up. I'm out of chakra. Everyone is shocked and dumbfounded. Naruto, he's very interested and very smiling right now. He's saying, I knew that was going to happen. That's where Temari is shocked. And of course, Shikamaru he's not out of chakra. He has still tons of chakra. The reason why he gave up is because Naruto told him to kind of give up at the end. Even if you have tons of chakra. We go into a flashback. Naruto kind of told Shikamaru before leaving to go fight Temari. Naruto told him to kind of keep a lot of chakra. We might have an invasion happening later. This is why Shikamaru says, what do you mean? Orochimaru, the legendary Sannin, Pito, is in the Hokage booth. I think pretending as the Kazekage. Just save enough chakra. Kind of like do whatever beginning, but just save a lot of chakra even if you have to give up on the end. This is where, well, Shikamaru nodded, and this is where we go back and Shikamaru, he gave up. This is where Tomari, she just is shocked and dumbfounded. But yeah, Shikamaru just walks away. Next match, it is, well, Ino Yamanaka versus Shiroi from the Sound. This is where, well, Ino is saying, great, I'm gonna have to be fighting her. This is bad. This is where, well, Shiroi says, oh, a cute little flower like you is just scared of a snake like me. Aww, why would you be scared? This is where Ino is just like, I'm not scared. She then proceeds to fight what's it called, Shiroi in Taijutsu. Now, of course, she is not the best in Taijutsu, but she's trying. She's trying to really impress Naruto. Naruto is really not paying attention much to her. Right now, Naruto is paying attention to Shiroi. Seeing the Taijutsu and being more advanced in Taijutsu than Ino. This is where, well, Shiroi managed to grab Ino's arm and kick her in the stomach. This is where Ino gets launched backwards and all that. And of course, she kind of holding her stomach. Now, of course, this is where, well, Sasura, who was there and all that. Yeah, Sasura is in the stands and all. Is kind of scared of Naruto. Because Naruto, he made them all shut the fuck up. Even her. Mostly putting all his bloodlust into Sasura. Making her mostly shut up about what's it called, Sasuke Uchiha. So yeah. Of course, Ino really didn't protest or anything about that. She didn't care about Sasuke failing or not. This is where, well, she is kind of saddened that what's it called, she's not over there kind of fighting, kind of showing that she's strong. Even though her useless ass was weak as fuck. But whatever, she's probably weaker than fucking, what's it called, Magikarp. Magikarp can evolve and become Gyarados. Her ass can evolve and become useless, become more useless than normal. But whatever. Other than that, this is where, well, she is kind of shocked to, well, kind of angry not being out there. But even if she went against Shiroi would have whooped her ass in 10 seconds. Ino's actually putting up more of a good fight. This is where Ino is kind of good in Taijutsu, not much. She did train in this 1 month instead of like kind of trying to look pretty. Because she can now see that Naruto, he's not trying to be, what's it called, good looking or anything. He's showing that he is strong as fuck. And can care less about looking good or anything. He kind of takes, his, what's it called, ninja career kind of seriously. Naruto sometimes doesn't care that much, but yeah. Now, of course, after seeing the fight against Neji, she is seeing that, well, she's out of Naruto's league. Or Naruto's mostly out of her league. Hinata, on the other hand, even though Hinata's not as powerful as Naruto, she did get stronger with Naruto's training. Sorry, when... Okay. Sorry about that. I had to burp and almost like food came back up, but whatever. Oops. But let me go back into the what if, okay? So of course Hinata has gotten stronger with Naruto's training. So yeah. So of course we go into Ino is still fighting against Shiroi. Shiroi is kind of laughing at her, kind of saying that you're kind of weak and can't defeat me. That's where Shiroi pulls out her sword. Now her sword is a curved blade. A curved blade. Both sides are kind of sharp and but it's curved. Now this is where Shiroi rushes at Ino. Ino is trying to dodge from Shiroi's blade and not trying to get sliced or stabbed. And this is where Ino is trying to mostly dodge. Of course, she does use a kunai to try to block, but of course the sword seems to be kind of stronger than the kunai. And of course, this is where Ino is kind of losing, until she gets a flashback and when she is training with her father. Ino's father is kind of strict, but at the same time, kind of kind. And of course, this is where Ino is trying to perform the, mind transfer jutsu and all. Of course, she couldn't. But of course, this is where her mother says, sweetie, You should probably learn more of something than just your what's called father's jutsus, our clan jutsus. Says like what? This is where her mother says like the flowers. Every beautiful flower that's out here can be very helpful to you. Says how? Well, when you came back home, I saw that when you touched the flowers, they kind of grew more. I'm guessing you finally unlocked your grandmother's Kekekenkai. This is where, well, says, grandmother's what? This is where her mother says, her Kekekenkai. Instead of, well, you see here, sweetie, I'm not from the Yamanaka clan much. I'm from another clan. And I never did tell your father about this clan, so yeah, it wasn't much of a clan. It was mostly me and your grandmother and your great-grandmother that had this Kekekenkai. Allowing to grow flowers. This is where, says, but how would that let me finish? Her mother said. Our ability is to allow to grow flowers, but also use them as weapons. If you manage to grow a flower in the middle of just a dirt path, you can either manipulate that flower into becoming a weapon, or even becoming a creature to help you in battle, a familiar, mostly like how I like to call it. Her mother told her. Now, of course, this is where, well, Ino's kind of taking that to heart, and she did kind of train and trying to unlock her Kekekenkai, but of course, she can only grow flowers, mostly get taller and all that, and she thought she might have found like a dud or something. This is where we go back into Ino's fighting against Tsuka Shiroi. She then just adds chakra into the ground, and of course, she doesn't realize this. She's doing this unconsciously, and of course, this is where, well, Shiroi says, you really are kind of strong. A little bit stronger than that Pinky. Or, not a little bit stronger. Probably way stronger than that Pinky. That pink, useless bitch. She's probably just a goddamn garbage can. Naruto, he just says in his mind, you can probably say that damn thing again. Doesn't work well. She added chakra and something appeared from the ground. A red rose. Now, wait, not a red rose. So, Ino managed to make a purple violet appear from the ground, and she unconsciously grabs it from the ground, and people are confused until she pulls it out of the ground and it transforms into a sword like this. A purple bladed sword. Now, of course, instead of having this guard right here, it's like a purple kind of, well, this whole handle and this guard is actually like, the handle is kind of green to okay. To kind of show it's like a plant and all that, like a green, what's called the green plant and all that. And around it, it's kind of showing the purple violets. Basically, a sword like this. So the purple violets are kind of here and kind of also on the ground, kind of here and all that. Of course, this will be like the plant vine and all that, and also this will be. But this will be like the blade, but it'll be purple. Of course, she pulls out that sword and actually blocks a strike from what's it called Shiroi. Now, of course, Ino had her what's it called kunai in her right hand, and she pulled out that what's it called that blade with her left hand blocking that blade. Of course, when she blocked it, she's actually surprised she managed to make a weapon. That's where Ino in the not Ino, Ino's mom in the stands kind of screaming out, "You're doing good, Ino!" This is where she's kind of happy. Of course, Ino's father is shocked and never seen this before. Kind of reminds him of the kind of blade that's when he was kind of trained with Ino's mom a little bit and kind of trying to learn how to, well, use mind transfer jutsu is more efficient against Ino's mom. What's it called? Inoichi? Yeah. He basically pissed off Ino's mom into actually activating her Kekekenkai for, well, the kind of, well, not second time, mostly another time because, well, he kind of pissed her off a lot. This is where Ino, we go back into Ino. This is where Ino is right now fighting against Shiroi with her blade. Now, of course, she's using it in her left hand. Well, not left hand. She blocked the kunai with her left hand and is right now using her right hand with the sword. Of course, this is where Shiroi is saying, interesting, so you're a swordsman. Such an interesting Kekekenkai you have. That's where Ino's, what's it called, eyes changed color for a second, and actually kind of what's it called? Well, both of her eyes changed color for a second, but of course she's kind of running out of chakra because this blade did take a lot of chakra. She finally unlocked it, but it's taking too much chakra. And this is where Ino kind of slashes at what's it called, Shoroi, sending a slash. Like, it was called, like, not a wind slash, like a slash. But this slash is purple at Shoroi. It's where Shoroi, she then uses her own slash and sends out a white slash at what's it called, Ino's purple slash. Ino's eyes just change into this color for a second. But instead of being just all like different color pattern flowers, it turned purple for a second. And then it changed back into her normal eyes. Into her normal kind of jadish color eyes. Now, of course, when she launched that slash, she actually used too much chakra. Even Naruto can sense the amount of chakra she kind of launched into it. But Ino then kind of was standing still for a little bit. That's where Shoroi, she did send her own slash at what's called Ino's own slash. This is where when both their slashes connect, like a wave power slashes, because they're made out of mostly chakra. When they connect, of course, this is where Ino's slash managed to pass through what's it called? Well, Shoroi's slash. Shoroi was white in her eyes. This is where Shoroi added more chakra into her own slash. And when she cut through it, well, sent mostly her own slash at what's it called? Ino's. It both collided and actually kind of exploded because of the amount of power. This is where Shoroi rushes at Ino through the smoke and was about to slash at her neck. Until Ino, she closed her eyes and then pass out backwards. This is where Shoroi actually grabbed her hand. Because even though Shoroi could have easily cut what's it called, Ino's head, she was actually very excited to ever fight Ino again. Because she is actually one of the first girls to actually make her use more chakra in a slash. This is where Ino passes out. And of course, her sword kind of goes on the ground. And it just becomes green. Like, the sword just becomes green. And just goes into the ground. Like, it just decays and goes to the ground. And of course, that one spot is just green now. So yeah. Of course, this is where, well, Naruto, he says, let me go down there. I can heal her. She used way too much chakra. Hinata says, I know. Please help Ino-chan anyway. This is where, well, not Ino-chan. She basically say, what's it called, friend Ino and all that. This is where, well, Naruto nodded. This is where Naruto, he teleports, like, he looked like he teleported, but he was kind of, well, very fast. He kind of did a body flicker much. He is right now behind Shoroi and what's it called, Ino. This is where Naruto bent down. And this is where Shoroi is shocked to even see Naruto. Then again, she is kind of shocked with Naruto's speed. But she's confused why he's down here. And this is where Naruto, he grabs Ino. And this is where he kind of pokes her in the head. Kind of adding chakra. And of course, kind of like replenishing her with chakra. Because he knows that the evasion might happen anytime. Now, of course, Orochimaru is right now just angry as fuck. He can't do what's it called, the evasion. Well, Sasuke kind of improvement of the battle and all that. With Gaara. So, of course, he's hoping that if Naruto goes against Gaara, Gaara goes insane and the evasion can finally fucking happen. But, of course, it's kind of taking too long. This is where Orochimaru says, God damn it, that red-haired bastard. Urgh. He's right now kind of screaming his mind. Now, of course, this is where, well, we go into, well, the next match. The next match, it is Choji versus, well, Shino. Now, this is where Choji, he unlocked Naruto unlocked his Kekkei. And he's actually, his Kekkei is to actually turn his body into steel whenever he kind of has chakra. Any type of steel if he's thinking about it, or even if he has it on his hand. But yeah, of course, this is where Shino, he never did get his chakra unlocked by Naruto. So of course he is still kind of the same power level as before. Actually no, Shino's going against what's called Kankuro. Now Choji, he's going against what's it called did I ever mention about Omoe going against Shikamaru? If I did, then yeah, that's already done. Choji's going against what's it called a OC character that's just a random fodder character, okay? This is where Choji, he rushes to fight against his called, well, no, he's not rushing to fight against his fodder. He's going against Rock Lee, yes. Now, Rock Lee actually changed a lot. He doesn't have that whole bow, what's it called, that hairstyle and all that. It actually kind of grew a little bit longer. And of course, this is where he's actually having glasses. And of course, he has a green coat on him. He has what's it called, a kind of black muscle shirt, well, underneath and all that. A green coat mostly that has, already mentioned that. Black pants and, well, black sandals. Of course, he does have his weights, but they're mostly gravity weights. He also did ask for Higurashi shop for some gravity weights, so yeah. This is where he is getting ready to fight against, well, Choji. Choji, what's called outfit is still the same, like original canon. It's just the one thing that kind of changed is the scarf, because he noticed that the scarf might kind of, well, kind of hold him back. Now I should mention, Ino's clothing did change. She did still have, well, what's it called, the violet color and all. But of course, it was a darker violet color. Or, well, much darker from before and all that. Of course, Shikamaru, he still kind of was wearing that whole green shirt and all that. But it was actually a black coat this time he was wearing. But yeah, should mention what they look like. Now, Choji, he doesn't have that scarf much. And of course, what mostly he's still wearing that kind of greenish coat. He's wearing a red shirt and what's it called, black pants, and of course black sandals. He is right now getting ready to fight against Rock Lee. Rock Lee is actually taller than before. He actually grew up taller. But yeah. He is 5'5". He's actually much taller than being 5'3" and all that. So yeah. Of course, well, he's getting ready to fight against Choji. And Choji, he's getting ready to fight against, well, Rock Lee. So of course, Gemma says begin. And this is where, well, Choji and Rock Lee kind of jump back. And this is where Choji, he kind of looks like he isn't chubby or anything. He's kind of taking this battle kind of serious. But of course, this is where, well, they can only go 25% of their power. Because we go into a flashback. Naruto did tell what they call Choji and Rock Lee not to use their full percent of power. Rock Lee was wondering why. Naruto says that an invasion might happen. And this is where Choji understands. Because if they go all out, then they are actually more vulnerable than these civilians. So of course they can only go 25%. This is where, well, Choji still wants to become a Chunin even if this invasion does happen. So yeah. This is where, well, Rock Lee is getting ready to fight against Choji. Now, of course, this is where, well, they gotta be smart against this fight because they can only use 25%. And they do respect Naruto's wishes. Because Naruto, he's actually the strongest. And of course, even though he might just put back your chakra, he doesn't want to waste his own chakra on what's it called, not Naruto, on Choji or what's called Rock Lee. And they know about that. His chakra is not limitless. So of course, they know that they have to be smart about this. They can only use 25% and not no more than that. So yeah. Of course, this is where Choji, he then kind of rushes at what's called Rock Lee, throws some three kunais at what's called Rock Lee. Rock Lee dodges, and this is where, well, Rock Lee kind of like, he dodges those two kunai, but then grabs one from what's called that little ring circle, and just kind of spins around his finger. Yeah, he didn't grab, he mostly, what's called, catch it with his finger, but yeah. He spins it, he throws it back at what's it called, well, Choji. Choji managed to duck down, but this is where a kick was about to hit him in the face. This is where Choji, he then kind of like does a palm strike at what's called Rock Lee's kind of hit, like knee attack. This is where, well, when their attacks connect, the ground below them cracks. This is where, well, what's it called, not Neji, Rock Lee and Choji jumps back. And this is where, well, Choji then kind of turns his hand into steel, kind of showing it off a little bit. Not steel, he mostly turns into copper. And, well, Rock Lee doesn't want to show off his eyes, so yeah. Since his eyes are now permanent, what's it called, greenish color, a greenish twisterish color, so yeah. And remembering what's it called, Naruto told him, shades might help into trying to block out what kind of looks like under his eyes. So yeah, of course, my guy did train Rock Lee into also kind of using chakra, trying to teach him the basics, even though he didn't know anything. But Rock Lee wanted to learn from my guy still, even though if he changed his outfit. My guy still respect what's called Rock Lee no matter what, as his only and most promising student. But yeah, now of course, well, Rock Lee rushes at what's it called, Choji, intending to kind of knee him right, well not knee him, kick him right in the side of the head. And this is where Choji transform his kind of head into copper. And this is where, well, with what's it called, Rock Lee's eyes actually sees the copper being transformed, well, kind of put in his skin into what's it called, well, Choji's skin. This is where he stops to kick midway, and of course decides to knee him in the what's it called, chin. This is where, well, Choji does get knee in the chin, but managed to still grab what's it called, not grab, mostly punch the ground with what's it called, his hand, because they did win copper still. He punches the ground, making it kind of shake and break, and the ground kind of crack around. And of course, this is where, well, it kind of looks like an earthquake. And of course, this is where, well, Rock Lee sees this, that basically Neji's trying to use the ground to kind of make him kind of slower, because Choji knows that he is not going to be as fast as Rock Lee. And Rock Lee knows that speed might be the only way to take down Choji. Because so Choji's strength is increased a lot in the original canon. But of course, his speed is kind of his downfall because of his big size. Now, of course, this is where, well, Rock Lee can know about this. But of course, Rock Lee's only kind of weakness is, well, kind of being lacking in strength a little bit. Not much, but it's kind of below than what's called Choji. The reason why is because if Choji uses Kaga Kenkai to kind of put his arm into any type of steel, you realize getting punched by steel or hit by any steel hurts like a bitch. No, I have not tested out. I just know that it's fucking steel, so don't be a dumbass. Just warning alert. Don't get a hammer and hit yourself, okay? I already know what's gonna happen. Prediction saw. You broke your arm. Don't be a dumbass. But let me go back to what. So of course that's what he knows about that. So this is where, well, Choji's defense is very high if he uses Keka Kenkai. Even his what's called fatness around him can be also a defense. But of course, even though he has a massive size, he has to add more chakra into his defense, so his metal won't kind of like become weaker. To make sure to be at a solid like metal, like in the original kind of what's it called? Well, not shape, mostly the density, but yeah. But of course, this is where, well, Choji does have a trump card, but he's not trying to use it. Because, well, like what's it called? Naruto told him, use only 25%. And Choji, he's almost down into, well, using what's it called? His last 12% of power. And, well, what's it called? Not energy. Rock Lee, he can still use a lot of his power, but he knows that he's also having to, well, limit himself. So this is where, well, Rock Lee rushes at what's called Choji, intending to just, well, end this attack, well, end this kind of match by using an attack called what's it called? Leaf Whirl Hurricane Dragon Kick. This is where, well, a dragon kind of like leaf started picking up and started appearing kind of near what's called Rock Lee's leg. And of course, he did add chakra for this attack. But of course, and yeah. But of course, this also attack does mean that your leg has to be as strong as fuck. If it wasn't for his what's it called chakra or his own strength in his bones and all that, because how much he trains, this attack would have shattered his leg into a million pieces. Not even Tsunade would be able to heal him. But thanks to his own body and how he trained it enough, and how he's still kind of learning about chakra, and also thanks to his eyes for the price amount of chakra that he has to add into this attack, he can actually do this attack pretty easily. But this is where, well, Choji sees that, well, he's actually ending this attack with this final attack from Rock Lee. And this is where, well, Choji notices, and of course, Choji gets ready and turning his arm, right arm, into platinum. He's right now transforming it all into platinum. But of course, he knows that he still won't be enough to transform into platinum, so he just turns it into, well, just iron. And of course, he throws the punch at what's called, sorry about that. He throws the punch at Rock Lee, and both of their attacks connect. But of course, this is where Choji, he managed to, even though he couldn't transform his arm into platinum because that will add too much chakra and waste too much of it, he transformed his body instead into, well, a steel color. Of course, managing to, well, if their attacks kind of exploded, Choji would still be okay. But of course, even though he transformed his body into steel, Rock Lee's kick still managed to break through and kick Choji into, well, the wall. Of course, Choji was unable to kind of get back up. And of course, he kind of just faked it, being sure that he wouldn't be going back up, because he reached his limit for 25%. Rock Lee, he still had enough percent of power to go on, but of course, he sees that Choji's faking his injuries, that he's now unable to battle. Chema says, Rock Lee has won. Next match, it is, well, Kankuro versus Shino. Now, Shino whoops his ass really easily, because Kankuro is kind of not scared. He's just wondering when not really. Shino doesn't kill Kankuro, or doesn't kick his ass. Mostly Kankuro just loses, but yeah, on purpose. But yeah. Everyone is very stoked with these, kids, because how strong they are. Either they improve over the 1 month, or thanks to Naruto, but no one knows about thanks to Naruto unlocking these guys. Next, it is, well, Karu versus Tenten. This is where, well, Tenten is the last match until the second rounds. So yeah, of course, this is where Tenten is going against Karu. Karu is a dark-skinned, female with red hair. And of course, she is getting ready to fight against Tenten. Now, Tenten is this, kind of palish girl, because her skin did kind of become more pale. But of course, her hair is kind of brown, but, brownish, but also has, highlights of this, lightish bluish color. But there's more than last time that Naruto saw her. Of course, Tenten has this necklace, the dragon-shaped kind of necklace with an eye in it. And of course, this is where, Tenten's also clothing changed. She's wearing a kind of lightish, icy blue kind of color kimono. Now, Naruto did manage to get to her, and Naruto did tell her that don't use much power percent, because, an invasion might happen because of the missing ninja named Orochimaru. Tenten nodded, and she understands. Besides, she has to thank Naruto for kind of teaching her, not teaching her mostly. Kind of. Naruto did teach her about chakra, but also tells her about to train more in the chakra until she summoned out the dragon. But yeah. Just realized that my Wi-Fi kind of came back. I can upload this like later. But let me keep continuing on. This is where, well, Tenten kind of goes into the fight with Karu. And this is where, well, sorry about that. Karu kind of like rushes at Tenten, intending to kind of slice her. And this is where, well, Tenten managed to dodge the attack. And this is where Tenten managed to kind of grab Karu's kind of weapon from her hand. Well, her hand mostly. Twist it and then kick her right in the stomach. This is where Karu still has her sword in her hand, but of course she is shocked. Now, of course, this is where she realized that Tenten isn't just a normal girl. Now, of course, this is where, well, Karu still rushes at Tenten because she kind of got angry a little bit, check mark. And this is where, well, she's trying to slice at Tenten until Tenten kind of summons out a scroll and she pulls out a, what's it called, sword. Now, this sword is, well, created with her father. This sword, it is, well, a colorish, what's it called, the handle and what's it called, the Gaara, is kind of a bluish and goldenish color. But of course, the blade is, well, a kind of an icy bluish color, but also it's white at the same time, like a steelish color. This is why, well, Tenten blocks with the Karu's kind of blade, and of course, they are kind of trying to fight for dominance. And of course, this is where Tenten managed to knee her in the stomach because they were close. Karu was shocked, but this is where Tenten throws her blade down because, like, stabbing it into the ground, kind of like lift herself up by kind of like putting her weight into the blade and kicking her right in the head, like side of the head. This is where, well, Karu is launched to the wall and she is kind of right now tired. She's kind of angry, but this is where she kind of goes through hand signs and says lightning style. Lightning sparks, sends multiple lightning sparks at what's called Tenten. Tenten, she goes through hand signs and says water style, water wall. This is where a water wall appears, and this is where both attacks collide. But this is where, well, Tenten appears from the water because she like dispels the water. Some of the lightning kind of went through, but this is where Tenten rushes at what's called Karu. But this is where instead of stabbing her or slicing her in like the stomach or anything, she uses the what's it called, the part of the handle, the like handle and all that, to hit her right in the head, Karu in the head. Well, not kick her, knee her in the like ribs, and then kind of like palm strike her down to the ground. So yeah, the Karu is down for the count. But yeah, of course, Tenten wasn't using that much chakra, but yeah. She only wasted like 9% of it, but yeah. But this is where we go into what to call, well, the next matches. The next match, it is Naruto Uzumaki versus Gaara from the Sand. God, why can I never say his fucking name right? But whatever. Just Gaara from the Sand. This is where, well, Naruto what's it called? Going against Gaara, who is his next match, and he's like looking at Gaara, and Gaara is looking at him. And this is where, well, Naruto kind of just smiles, kind of like a gentle smile towards what's it called, well, Gaara. And of course, this is where Gaara, he gets on guard because he knows that Naruto's strong. And this is where, well, Naruto appears right in front of him, kneeing him right in the stomach. Even the sand wouldn't be able to stop Naruto's knee. This is where, well, Gaara is shocked, and he gets launched to the what's called wall. This is where, well, Gaara is shocked, and of course, this is where Gaara gets back up. Of course, Gaara isn't going insane because the seal on him because of Naruto. Now, this is where Gaara sends Sand Wave at Naruto, but this is where Kakashi and Sasuke appear, and this is where, well, Kakashi says, "Are we late?" This is where Naruto, he appears. He was about to punch what's it called, the sand. And of course, thanks to Sasuke's dumbass being, well, in front of there, Naruto, he did see Sasuke in a flash when he appeared. But this is where Naruto didn't give two fucks and punches Sasuke right in the face, smashing him, well, through the sand, almost hitting Gaara. And Gaara just sees something fly past him, and he didn't even know what the hell that was. This is where, well, Kakashi noticed what the hell happened. Everyone noticed what the hell happened. There's a crater of an Uchiha right in the wall. Yeah, Naruto didn't give two fucks. He didn't care. He knew what he was doing. This is where Naruto sends, come on, Gaara, throw sand at me. This is where Gaara sends sand wave at what's called Naruto. But Naruto was standing next to Kakashi, so Kakashi gets hit by the sand. Now, Kakashi managed to substitute with a log. And of course, he's right now in the Chunin exam. But this is where, well, Naruto, he grabs Kakashi because Naruto appears next to Kakashi, grabs Kakashi, and throws him towards Gaara like a goddamn torpedo. And of course, this is where, well, Kakashi's going like a torpedo through the sand, almost hits Gaara. And Gaara, he uses, well, a sand wall. And he probably knows that the thing was going to go through it anyway. And he just walks like a couple inches away. And Kakashi goes through the sand wall, hits the ground, making like a kind of, just a pathway. And then hits the wall. People are shocked that Naruto just grabbed Kakashi and threw him like a goddamn torpedo. Like, damn, he doesn't give two fucks. Now, Sasuke can see that Naruto is showing no mercy. He doesn't give a fuck if it's Sasuke Kakashi. And this is where, well, Hiruzen knows that Naruto can be the most troublesome person out there. This is where, well, Orochimaru, he wanted to, well, not Orochimaru, Asuma, he actually wanted to kind of laugh a little bit because this kid just threw his own damn sensei and teammate into the fucking wall and didn't care. Now, Asuma, he kind of like threw something at Kakashi, knowing that it's probably just a log substitute and all that. It's probably like a clone or something. He like threw a cigarette and it catch on fire. The person, he just thought it was some kind of clone or something like that. He didn't think it was a real Kakashi. He catches on fire. And of course, where it catch on fire is mostly Kakashi's back pants near his kind of like butt and all that. And of course, this is where Kakashi, he kind of feels like something is burning his ass. He gets up and says, fire, fire, what the fuck? Ah! This is where Asuma, he starts laughing so hardly that he just kind of just can't stop laughing. And of course, this is where Karna is laughing a little bit. Gemma is actually dying also. He just can't stop laughing. Naruto and Gaara are still fighting, but of course, this is where Naruto's chuckling a little bit. Gaara doesn't understand why, but Gaara then kind of uses sand, a sand slash at Naruto. Naruto managed to duck and then punch Gaara in the stomach, because yeah. And Gaara is not insane, so he's not trying to really kill Naruto, but he knows that Naruto's too damn strong and can probably dodge the sand slash. But this is where, well, there's a comedy relief at Kakashi's spot, and there's a battle in the arena anyway, between Naruto and Gaara. So of course, there's people watching Kakashi trying to put out the fire, and there's what's called a battle. So there's like half of the arena is right now seeing the battle, while the other half is kind of laughing at Kakashi's misfortune. This is where Hinata's laughing also. That's where, well, Hiruzen is actually chuckling. He doesn't want to really chuckle, but he's kind of giggling like a madman, because he just sees Kakashi kind of running around like a goddamn headless chicken. This is where, well, Jiraiya can see this and say, thank God that ain't me. That kid would have fucking threw me like a fucking torpedo. I'm good. Or not a torpedo, like a log. Yeah, I'm good. But this is where, well, Naruto, he's right now keeps fighting against Gaara. And of course, somewhere Orochimaru says, come on, Gaara, go insane. Go insane. This is where Naruto says, sorry, Gaara, but I'm gonna have to knock you off. Appears right behind him, hits him in the back of the neck, knocks him out. This is where, well, Gemma says, Naruto won. Naruto Uzumaki has won, and Gaara from the sand has lost. This is where a bunch of sand shinobis are shocked, and they are kind of waiting for Gaara to transform. Never transform. 5 minutes pass. While Kakashi in the background is running around like a fucking headless chicken, Naruto had enough of fucking, Kakashi kind of keep running. So Naruto basically stops Kakashi. Sent of a wave, like he just hits the air and sends a wave of like uh, what's it called, wind, hits Kakashi, and it does extinguish the fire. But Kakashi's right now, like, half his pants is burned, okay? Like, it's all kind of crispy burn, okay? Like, Naruto did not care about Kakashi. He just wanted Kakashi to shut up. So, yeah. Naruto goes back upstairs. And this is where Naruto does give the signal towards his teammates. Or not teammates. Mostly Hinata, Shikamaru, Choji, Ino. He did kind of tell, well, not Ino. Ino was kind of the, what's it called? Infirmary. What's it called? Tenten and Rock Lee about what's going to happen. So they do kind of knock out the Sand Shinobis. And of course, Ino does see what's it called, the person who's actually trying to activate the jutsu. Or not, what's it called, Hinata. Mostly Rock Lee. He sees what's it called, Kabuto about to activate the jutsu. Because they are actually knowing that Gaara is going to transform. Pretty much is that Gaara is not going to transform. This is where Rock Lee, he, like, attacks what's it called, Kabuto. Now, Kabuto, he was about to do the jutsu until he stopped because he almost get kicked in the fucking head. So, of course, he jumps back and sees that it is Rock Lee who's actually fighting him. This is where Rock Lee says, "I'm sorry, but I can't let you really put that genjutsu of making everyone fall asleep." This is where Kabuto is shocked to even know what it was that hand sign was going to do. This is where, well, Rock Lee sends what's it called, well, he disappears from what's it called, Kabuto's view and appears right in front of him, hitting him in the stomach with a fist, kind of breaking 2 ribs in what's it called, Kabuto's stomach, and sending him out of the way. This is where multiple what's it called, Leaf Shinobis are wondering what the hell is happening. And this is where Rock Lee says, "An invasion's happening. Everyone get on guard." This is where everyone gets on guard, even the what's it called, civilians kind of get scared. And this is where the Sand Shinobis, they all were ready to kind of fight against, but they were already knocked out. So of course, this is where, well, Naruto, he appears in front of what's it called, Orochimaru, because Orochimaru realized that his plan was already ruined. But of course, before he's able to fight against what's it called, well, Hiruzen kind of jumps out, even what's it called, Raikage, but Raikage went after Hiruzen. And of course, Orochimaru was about to follow. Well, he did kind of like try to attack, and well, the Raikage is actually helping what's it called, Orochimaru to kind of fight against what's called the Leaf Village. But this is where Orochimaru is stopped by, well, Naruto. Naruto sent a heavy, and I mean heavy pressure of gravity, 5,000, to smash him to the ground. This is where Naruto is pissed and saying, "You're so dead." This is where the Raikage tries to attack what's it called, well, Naruto. But this is where Hiruzen blocks the attack and says, "You're gonna have to fight against me. It seems that you betrayed the village." Not betrayed the village. It seems that you betrayed the alliance, Raikage-sama, or Raikage Dodo. This is where, well, the Raikage says, "Damn it, I need Orochimaru to help me kill you. That kid is getting in the way." This is where Naruto, he then what's called, like, goes down through the hole because he did launch what's called Orochimaru down to the fucking ground. This is where Naruto says, "This time I'll kill you." This is where Orochimaru says, "You think you can kill me?" Naruto appears right in front of him, like below him, uppercutting his shit to the fucking sky. This is where, well, what Raikage sees behind what's it called, Hiruzen, is something fly so fast in Mach speed 5, all the way in the sky. Right now, even in space. Orochimaru is right now in space. Orochimaru is shocked. He can't breathe. Naruto, he jumps from the ground and goes up in the air, flying. Yes, because the Jade Emperor can actually fly. Yeah. With Orochimaru being in space, he's right now, like, losing air until, well, Naruto, he says, "I'm gonna have to finish this real quick." He uses something called planet toss. So he sends 2 planets at Orochimaru, destroying him in an instant, just obliterating him. This is where, well, Orochimaru is gone. He is gone. He is dead. He is just gone. He gets obliterated with 2 planets. Even though Naruto knows damn well that, well, those 2 planets weren't really necessary. Only one was necessary, but Naruto, you used them anyway. So of course, everyone that looks in the sky can see kaboom in the sky. The what's it called, the blue sky? Yeah, it kind of like opened this blue sky in what's called the ocean. It kind of let out like a view of space and all that. And of course, all you see is 2 planets colliding with power, or exploding, and Naruto up in the air in space. Now Naruto is not affected by space. He's a goddamn DDD, or a god mostly. Of course, where Naruto, he goes back down because he did use gravity on him to kind of float up, or kind of lift himself up way faster. But yeah, so Naruto, he lands down, and he's right now seeing the army of what's called the cloud and sand, and even Sound Shinobi's going towards the leaf. But of course, some of the leaf ninjas are right now still dealing with some of what's called the sound and sand. And this is where Naruto, he lands down at the pathway of where the army's coming towards. Naruto, he makes a tiny ball, and I mean a tiny, not tiny, kind of like small ball. And of course, this small ball is called a Big Bang. Now, he knows that if he launches this and made it any bigger than before, this thing will probably destroy the Earth. But he's making it tiny enough so it won't obliterate the Earth. He launches it towards the army, and he obliterates everything. Everything that was in that pathway. Now, of course, the whole army is gone. There's nothing left. The trees are gone. The army's gone. Yeah, you name it. Everyone that was in the Leaf Village sees this. Even the Raikage sees it. And everything is gone. Now, what's it called? Ayo is kind of fighting against, what's it called, Harusen. Even what's it called, his brother, what's it called, Atel. So, what's it called? Not Atel. Killer B was right now fighting against Harusen. And when they see the explosion, they're wondering, what was that? That's where Atel, the Atel says, go check it out. That's where Harusen says, oh, no, you don't. This is where Ayo managed to block a pathway for Killer B to go. Because he thinks it might be the army or something. When he gets there, he sees nothing. The only thing he sees is a red-haired boy looking at him with 2 of his eyes open. The, what's it called? Omega and the Alpha symbol. This is where the Atel says, Killer B. It seems this guy must obliterate the army. But this is where Killer B says, but how? That can't be impossible. That army, it was huge enough to destroy the Leaf Village. This is where the Killer B says, this person might be bad. That's why we might need to kill him. This is where Killer B says, I agree with you. This is where Naruto activates a Nine-Tails cloak. He goes into a Nine-Tail cloak. This is where the Eight-Tail says, Killer B, never mind. We're going against the Nine-Tail Centurion. And he looks like he's mastered the Nine-Tail Centurion power. So, of course, he kind of goes into a Nine-Tail cloak, like basically One-Tail. But then he just goes into KCM. He knows damn well he's already strong enough, so yeah. That's why, Naruto appears right in front of Killer B and just smashes his, what's it called? 2 index fingers into what's called Killer B's stomach, launching him straight to where he came from. Just basically towards Ao and what's called, Harusen. Harusen managed to jump away, but this is where Ao says, he jumps away also and says, what the hell was that? He didn't realize what it is, and what it smashes down was actually Killer B. This is where Naruto appears in KCM. This is where Naruto says, yo, old man, what's happening? This is where Harusen says, Naruto, what did you do to Orochimaru? Naruto says, threw 2 planets at him and blew him the fuck up. Pretty much, yeah. I can basically use planet manipulation to toss and destroy. It's very interesting, don't you think, Harusen? Harusen is horrified to hear Naruto's able to just toss planets like it's fucking nothing. And of course, this is where Ao hears it, so he has to take out what's it called Naruto. He throws a lightning punch at Naruto. Doesn't do jack shit. Naruto looks at Ao, flicks him right in the head, in KCM I should mention, and destroys him in an instant. Now, of course, I should mention what the others are doing. Right now, they're kicking the shit out of some of the ninjas, even if they're Jonins. Rock Lee's easily kicking the shit out of them so easily. He's right now kind of using his legs, even his fists, and even some jutsus he might have created. Tenten summons out an ice blue dragon to fight against the three-headed snake. And of course, the three-headed snake is scared of fucking, is trying to run away from the dragon, but the dragon's right now murdering it. Even Gamabunta's like scared of going against the dragon. Of course, this is where Ino, she activated her flower sword to kind of fight against Suzuka. Well, Tenten and Ino were kind of fighting against Suzuka. Samui and what's it called, Shiroi, because Shiroi and Samui are basically in the same team. And they are right now trying to invade the village. Basically, Shikamaru is fighting against Suzuka. Well, Tamari and what's it called, Hinata is fighting against Suzuka. Well, some ninjas, but it's mostly Cloud Ninja trying to get her. But this is where she's easily taking them all out. Her eyes actually change into a palish, or like, well, it was palish white, like with lavender, but it changes into a golden color. Well, not golden color, into a greenish bluish color. Basically unlocking the Tentagon because of Naruto's hard training. Of course, this is where she actually goes into a cloak, but, well, not Tentagon, it was kind of a purplish pinkish color of her eyes. It does unlock the Tentagon, but this Tentagon is pinkish purple for her. And of course, she goes into this pinkish purplish cloak and blasts through a bunch of ninjas. This is where, well, he actually can see that his own daughter managed to unlock the Tentagon. The one that he abandoned. He feels so terrible. But yeah. Of course, this is where, well, Naruto, he's like, flicks what's called AO and just, this is where Naruto, he appears right in front of AO and grabbed him from the head and ripped it off, killing him in an instant. Killer Bee rushes at Naruto. Naruto, he grabbed both of his arms, ripped them off so fast, like he ripped them off so fast, and then smashed him down to the ground, kicking him, well, yes, kind of like using axe, kick him down to the ground. And this is where Naruto stomps on him and obliterating him in an instant. Naruto's right now overpowered as fuck. Naruto hasn't even lifted off his weights and he's that strong as fuck. That's where Hiruzen is shocked, and this is where he can see that basically the Leaf Village managed to pass and live on. Now we go into a couple of days later. This is where some, what's it called, Cloud Shinobis, well, mostly some Cloud, like a team just got captured. Basically, the Two Tails, Amoe, Karu, Samui basically got captured. For the sound, Shoroi and her team and even her sensei got captured. And for what's called the sand, Baki, Gaara, Tamari, and even Kankuro got captured. Basically, Gaara, he allowed himself to be captured. He didn't fight back. Which surprised a bunch of people, but yeah. He knows damn well, fighting against Naruto, hell nah. I should also mention the Sound 4 got wiped out thanks to Rock Lee. He took off his glasses, show off his, what's it called, dojutsu, his actually true dojutsu, and destroy them in like a couple of fucking minutes. Rock Lee also did take off his gravity weights and just speed blitz the fuck out of them, and then uses a secret secret technique called green, green blast, which basically just, he makes two green, chakra balls in his hand, and he just launches together, making it bigger, and then just kind of throws it at them, and it explodes. But yeah. This is where, well, Rock Lee managed to defeat the Sound 4, but yeah. Even, well, Kabuto managed to escape, but yeah. He somehow managed to escape, but yeah. I should probably say, stop saying yeah, but okay. Let me just go back into what if. Of course, this is where, well, Hiruzen's very shocked with Naruto's power and the others, that he actually promotes with the call Naruto to Jonin rank. Well, mostly into a special rank because he needed to. Naruto's actually called God rank because, yeah, Naruto is fun. He didn't really care. Rock Lee was actually promoted to be kind of what's called Jonin rank, like low Jonin, because he can still see that Rock Lee still needs improvements. What's it called? Shikamaru, Choji, Shino, and Ino kind of were promoted to Chunin rank. And Tenten was actually promoted to be what's called also Chunin rank. even though she summoned out a dragon. The dragon that almost caused a lot of damage around the Leaf Village, even if Tenten didn't dispel it. But yeah. Of course, also Hinata was promoted to be Chunin rank. So yeah. Well, mostly not Chunin rank, but also Jonin rank. Because she actually unlocked something very powerful in her clan. But she's not part of her clan no more, and part of Naruto's mostly. But yeah. This is where, everyone is kind of happy they all got promoted. And yeah, Sasuke wasn't promoted. He was emo as fuck. He tries to fight against Naruto the next day. And Naruto, he just bitch slapping. And he was across the goddamn village. But this is where I'm going to leave it off for part 3? Yeah, part 3. Yeah, part 3 of this what if. Part 4 will be whenever, but yeah. But other than that, yeah, I will put the link in the descriptions of Anime Sensei, Iconic, and Obito's, and even my second if you want to check it out. But I haven't uploaded that much stuff in my second. But yeah, mostly some gaming videos. But I'm going to upload like story times and other things. But other than that, yeah, peace, bye.